On today's show, we have Kertisha. She is a SEN mum to a gorgeous boy named Theo. He's 5 years old. She wants to bring the SEN community together.
It was really refreshing to hear Kertisha's story from her perspective, and we know that a lot of parents will relate to this.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, Kertisha.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming all the way from Surrey to be here on this bright and early Wednesday morning.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we reached out, we spoke to you on social media. Obviously you can let us know your whole story, but we've discussed with each other because you have a non-verbal son with other needs. Yeah. Tell us about him.
So Theo is 5 now. Mm-hmm. He's non-verbal. He was diagnosed at 2, so quite young. When he was about 8 months, that's when I realised that something wasn't quite right. And what really got me was he started headbanging. Mm-hmm. And it would be every time before he would go to sleep, he would just headbang. And I called the doctors and I said, look, I think something's not right. And I told them what was going on and they said to me, it's teething.
Wow.
Teething?
Yeah.
Never heard that one before.
So I was like, I've never heard of a child doing this to themselves, like when they're teething.
Yeah.
And obviously you go down that rabbit hole and you start looking up everything and you're up all
Google.
night. Once I started Googling, I realised like 100% there's something not right. You start reading, and he was born in COVID as well. Mm-hmm. So he was late on quite a few things, but I just thought it was more so that he was a COVID baby. We haven't been out anywhere. We was like locked in. So
how did you feel about that? Because Callie's just turned 6, but I think they must be the same year, or obviously they're similar in age. And every time a doctor or a professional told me it's to do with COVID, I actually now find it really insulting because we're the ones that know our children. Yeah. And yes, there's going to be delays, but they're not going to be so severely delayed or headbanging and do things out of the ordinary because they're a COVID baby.
Yeah, 100%.
Was that the only red flag?
No, so that was like the biggest red flag. But when I look back now, he wasn't doing like hitting his milestones at all. He crawled late, he walked late.
Was he premature?
No, he was born at 37 weeks on the dot. So I went into labour 36 weeks and they held me out until 37 weeks.
That is quite prem.
So yeah, he was...
I guess he was on time. But still kind of 3 weeks early, as they would say.
No suspicious labour, anything like that.
And the pregnancy?
Pregnancy was absolutely fine. Well, I
don't
don't
know.
know. Some people love pregnancy, but it's
not for me. I'm not a good pregnant person.
I didn't enjoy it. Back pain was horrible. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, everything was fine. No red alarms, no red flags, anything like that.
Because it's quite early to notice it. I was quite early as well with Bailey Bow. Like I noticed that something wasn't typical. Yeah. However we put it, at around 9-10 months as well. And I think that was also to do with the fact that I have 2 older children. And I kind of, listen, they all develop at different times, but you have the milestones and you kind of know when around which month they should be doing this, this and this. And obviously Bailey never did this and this. So we knew quite early on. And I think you've just got a mother's instinct as well. I just 100%. Think you know if something's right or not.
Yeah, and you have to go with your instinct. Definitely. So when at first they said it was teething, and then I was like constantly calling the doctors. And then I got them to refer him. He was refused. He was actually refused 7 times.
Wow.
Before we actually got there. I went private. And then by the time, so I went for our first initial meeting to go private, and then I got a cancellation from the NHS. So we went straight in there. She saw him for 45 minutes and diagnosed him. Wow. And it's like, how could you refuse him 7 times and it be that quick? It was so obvious that he was autistic.
So from your first appointment, you got your diagnosis?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't get that.
And that was through the NHS?
Through the NHS.
I had to do a few appointments before
I got the
diagnosis.
I remember walking out and I called my mum and I said, Mum, I don't know if that was like a diagnosis appointment. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, at the end, she said, he's autistic. But I don't know, like it wasn't formal.
Confirmed, yeah.
I don't think in my head, I thought you would sit me down and, I don't know, tell me what I need to do and what happens next and these things. But it was just like, yes, he is autistic.
off you go.
Off
go
you
and do
go.
life.
Yeah. And I was just like,
Yeah.
and then I remember I called the hospital and I was like, is the letter done? And they was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm coming to get it. Like, I didn't want to wait for it to come in the post. I just wanted to see,
black and white.
Is that a diagnosis? Like, and then
it's like we all wait, don't we? And we all want this diagnosis, and we're like, we think it's going to be this massive big thing, or like you're going to feel so different once you've got it. But what's the word? It's almost like you build yourself up to it. You build yourself up to it, and then you get it, and you're like, nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing
but
changes.
Also, I feel like in your circumstance as well, and all of ours, we go and see a paediatrician. They assess our children because we have concerns. And then they just tell us that they're autistic, as if we're meant to know what autism is.
Exactly.
Like, what is autism? Of course, we all know it now, but why would we know it?
And where do you go
you
from
learn
here?
At school.
Where do
you
we
might
go?
have like one day of neurodivergency day or week, and then you're meant to understand it. No, we're not. And exactly, where do you go from here?
Yeah.
That's where there's no support. And I think that's why, obviously, I want to hear more about your son, but that's why you're also here as well, because I think your purpose, as well as ours, and I think loads of people obviously really need the support, but you're trying to build a community for SEN mums. Tell us 100%. More about that.
So when my son was diagnosed and I went down that rabbit hole, no sleep, Googling, all of these remedies that got, you know, you just go into this rabbit hole and there's no end to it.
But you want to do everything you can.
As a parent, you want to fix it.
Yeah.
Calpol can't fix this. So it's like you want to do everything you can to give your child the best chance. And that put me in a real bad depression. I was just running on empty all the time. Didn't know who I was. I didn't want to wake up and brush my hair in the morning. Obviously, I got through it. But
in a way, sorry to interrupt you, in a way, you were existing.
Exactly.
You weren't living.
Coasting.
Yeah.
Coasting is what I would call it.
I feel like sometimes we're just coasting our way through life, not actually feeling or seeing. We're just coexisting.
Living.
Yeah.
Not living.
Yeah.
Like I was going to move to America.
Oh, yeah.
I still want to move to America. So yeah, I'm with you.
Dubai.
I'm just like it was a lot. And then I was working. I left my job of 15 years.
What were you doing?
I was a hairdresser in a salon. And my son doesn't sleep at all, still now.
Really?
Melatonin don't work. So, yeah, I left my job. And then whilst I was at my job, I was saying, like, I want to do something to make sure people are not in the same position as me. Because how can you, as a parent, like, you're so focused on looking after that child, but ultimately, if you don't look after yourself, how are you meant to look after this child? And yes, that makes sense, but in the time, it doesn't make sense. You're just on coasting mode.
Yeah, autopilot.
Autopilot, exactly. So then I said, I'm going to do an event. I'm going to do an event for all special needs, mums, parents, carers, come and just think about you. Have a you day. We'll get their hair done, we'll get their nails done.
So fab.
And when I did it, it was so stressful. Oh my God, it was so stressful. But I remember I was cutting someone's hair and I turned around and I just looked and I thought, oh my God, I did this.
How
I was
amazing.
so proud of myself. And it made me realise that I'm quite a strong person. I'm quite bubbly. I'm quite outgoing. Through all of that, I still was. I just put a mask on. But the mums that came, they were so nervous, so timid. And it's like, you need to remember that you are a person in all of this.
You're more than a person.
Yeah, and you're so important to your child's journey, so important. And it might seem to people, oh, what's a haircut and what's getting your nails done? But it's just remembering that you deserve it as well.
It's time.
And just a bit of me time.
So where was the event?
It was in South London in Mitcham.
What type of, like, was it in like a hall or?
It was in a hall. So I had to decorate the whole thing myself. So the night before I left there at 2 a.m.
Wow.
And then I
you
came
probably
back.
got no sleep because of your son.
I swear I had a bath, got out of the bath, I laid in bed and thought, right, it's time. I knew I had to get up at 7, be at the hall back for 7. And then my son was awake and I was like, I can't do it. So I had 2 hours sleep.
Oh my gosh.
I had 2 hours sleep. But the adrenaline and just that feeling of helping people and also talking to other SEN mums, because my friends don't have any SEN children, so I'm the only one. And it's never them. I say it all the time, it's me. I kind of isolate myself. They're always like, let me have it. No.
Yeah.
So just speaking to other mums and being like, yeah, like you understand me. Was lovely. It was really, really lovely. And some things that go on in my house, it's just like you wouldn't just have a conversation about it. Like you wouldn't, no one would understand.
But that's why I do a social media page, because it's a way of like where my friends and family can actually understand and hear and see me, because everyone has their perception of autism. And obviously every case is different. Every case, they're not cases, they're children. Every child is different.
Yeah.
So for one person, they might see autism like this. For another, they'll see it like this. And a lot of my friends actually turn around and say, I really didn't realise how hard you actually have it. Like, they don't grasp it, and they're not meant to. But that's why I think it's so important that we have our pages and we share our experiences, because we're advocating for our children, and we're also...
Well, I think...
What's the word? We're also basically...
Sharing our
No,
experience?
not sharing it. It's like...
Advocating.
Yeah, making them aware of what
but it's interesting you say that, because obviously we've known each other a long time now.
Yeah.
We work together. We speak all the time. We let us know each other how our kids are and what's going on. And even though we are SEN mums, all of us, and each child is completely individual... It was only that I actually went to your house recently and saw you and Bailey in action to think, okay, this is different to how I'm dealing with my child. And even though we're SEN mums and we get it, we also don't get each other, because we don't get, because our children are so different and
true.
They display so differently.
You know, Sophie asks me, why am I so skinny? Tell them why I'm so skinny.
Well, because she doesn't stop moving.
She's relentless.
But I don't stop moving either, and
No, but she will not let me go anywhere. She has to hold my hand, and we have to do a circle lap 28 million times
but it's
to the house.
routine.
And
that is my son.
I can't have a friend over and sit and chat.
We didn't talk at all, did we?
We're talking, and I'm being led out the room. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
you know,
that is exactly what my
and people
son's like.
don't see that. And Sophie said we've known each other a long time, but she didn't actually realise how demanding Bailey can be.
I also remember going on it was like a parenting class if your child's got needs, and there was loads of mums there. They were so nice. The first time I ever met like SEN mums, and I remember sitting there though thinking, my child's not like this.
Yeah.
And everything you're telling me to do, it's not going to work. Like, you're telling me to read to him or give him a book.
She'll eat the book.
He's going to eat the book. Yeah. Exactly. And I just thought, this is not like, why is my son so different? And then also I had feelings like, oh, they're so lucky that their child talks. But then more and more I was in the class, I realised that it's very easy as a SEN mum to look at another SEN mum and think you've got it easier than me.
Mm-hmm. I do that a lot.
I thought that these people had it easier than me because their child talks, but their child is not speaking functional language. Yeah. Their child is actually just repeating back to them what they're saying. Mm-hmm. So really, it's not language. Mm-hmm. So I don't have it any easier.
No, or they have the communication, or the language, but they don't have the communication.
Exactly. Say someone like, for instance, Callie, she has the language. She has quite good communication, but with that comes a battle of, Mummy, why am I different?
Yeah,
she knows it.
Now.
Whereas Bailey Bo, and if I can speak maybe for Theo, they've got no idea. So actually, in a way, they're guarded because they don't understand. Yeah. Whereas Sophie's got the challenge of having to explain it.
Exactly.
Is that easier? No. It's different.
So that's the thing. Even though, as you said, you might think that people have it easier, there comes with so many other challenges as well. Yeah. So basically, to sum up, SEN mums, it's frigging challenging.
Yeah. Yes.
So you mentioned that you've got an older child who is typical.
Yes.
So obviously you've raised a child in a typical way, and then you have Theo.
Yeah.
So it must have been a whole different ball game anyway. What's the age gap?
4 years.
Okay.
And that is probably one of my hardest challenges, I'll be honest, because my son, obviously I sit down, I speak to him about autism, and I've tried to educate him as much as I can, and he is brilliant. He's so good with his brother.
How old is he?
He's 9.
Yeah, he's still young as well to understand it.
Yeah, but like at Christmas, I said to him, all right, let's write a letter to Santa. So he wrote the letter to Santa. And obviously I always look at it because I am Santa. He doesn't know that. Yeah. And
sorry to interrupt you there. I told my daughter this morning that the tooth fairy wasn't real.
Oh no.
So basically, I know this is going off kilt, but the tooth fairy forgot to come last night because Mummy and Daddy fell asleep. She came in this morning. She said the tooth fairy didn't come, and I spoke to my husband. And I said, you know what, she's coming to an age now where maybe I think she needs to know. And I said to her, like,
she can listen to you now because she's here.
She's here. Do you believe in the tooth fairy? And she said, I don't know. I said, do you want to? She went, I know it's not real. She kind of knew but didn't want to know.
Yeah, because you don't want to. Yeah.
I think they lie for you.
Yes.
Like, I think they keep it going because they don't want to upset you.
She just wants the money.
Yeah. I felt like that with Santa, but then I genuinely saw him on the way back from my nanny's house in Essex in the sky with his sleigh, and then I came home and the window was open, and I still believe in him, so whatever. So
sorry,
I know you said
back,
you have
really
to be
sorry.
Santa, but I believe, go on, no, I'm joking.
So yeah, I took the letter and I read it, and it said, Santa, I don't want any presents. I just want my brother to talk. Now, what do I do with this letter? I've got this letter. I know my son's having these feelings.
And he believes in
Santa. He believes in Santa. So I just waited a couple of days, but that's like pondering on me.
Oh my God.
And then I said, Santa wrote me a letter.
That's a
he wrote back to
really
me,
good way.
And he said, what you asked for is not something that he can give to you. Your brother does communicate, just not like we communicate.
Mm-hmm.
We don't ever have a problem in understanding your brother. It's just that he's not saying it verbally. That's all.
Yeah.
And he said, I never want to change my brother, Mum, because I love him, but I just wish I could have a brother like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's understanding, he knows, but it's still hard. He wants to play
still
football.
got his wants that he can't have like we do as parents.
Do they have a relationship, or is Theo quite...
So Theo doesn't want anybody to touch him, actually. He likes to be on his own. I always say it's Theo's world and we just live in it.
Mm-hmm. That's our motto too.
We're just tools to get him what he wants. And so when Theo was younger, Jaden, my older son, had he found it hard because we're like, give me a hug, give me a kiss. And he used to say, he doesn't love me, Mum. He doesn't want to play with me.
Through that.
He doesn't want to hug me. He doesn't want to kiss me. And I would say, well, everybody likes to do things in different ways. Now, Theo will hug him. He will cuss. And they found a way to play together in their own little way. And it's so cute.
Lovely.
But does Jaden still crave that sibling that everybody else has? 100%. But would he change his brother? I don't think he would. I feel
like we're the same as parents. We also, well, I can speak on my behalf, wish that things weren't the way that they are, but I wouldn't change her because she's my baby and I love her. Yeah. So I feel like it's the same thing, but it must be very challenging for a child that's not old enough to fully understand, because I feel like even at our age, we don't fully understand. So how can we expect a child to understand?
Yeah.
And then live with that and see other people living in a typical world and it's not what you've got.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Sorry to interrupt, but we would really, really appreciate it if you could
like, save and subscribe.
And I try and do a lot of things like as a parent. So my house is so noisy. Even though Theo doesn't like noise, he's the noisiest child you ever meet.
We were saying that about Tommy last week, weren't we?
So I try, like, Jaden will go to my mum's. And that's like because sometimes I want to hide in the house.
It's his respite.
I don't mind. I keep saying to my sister, like, I'm thinking about just getting like a little Harry Potter cupboard, just somewhere I could hide for 5 minutes.
Have you not seen my TikTok? Where I hide under my jacket on the coat hanger?
That's hilarious. Literally just...
You just need a minute away, and it must be a lot for Jaden. So I do make sure he goes to my mum's on his own, and we have time to go to the cinema or whatever, just me and him.
Yeah, I have a lot of mum guilt.
Yeah, because it's stretching.
I've got 3 children and there's one of me.
Oh, that's why I say I will only have 2 children because I've only got 2 arms.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I wouldn't. Ideally, though, I wanted to have 3 children. Ideally, that was my thing. But now I'm like, absolutely.
No, I think if Bailey Bow was my second, I never would have had a third.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to try and stretch yourself. You know, I've got a lot of the time like, well, why can't you take me, mummy? You know, I see all the other kids with their mummies and you're not there. And I try to explain, but Bailey Bow doesn't like going out. You know, the minute we take her out, she drags me back to the car.
It's exactly the same as my son.
You know, so it's like, and then when she's at home and they have friends over, they want to go out, and I get that, and I want to take them out.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm being pulled there, and I just don't know. And obviously, they're all my priority, but Bailey's needs have to come above sometimes my other two, and it's just so hard to know how much, not enough, too much, too little.
And it's so hard to keep yourself
I'm not sane at all.
No,
I know, I mean, we all blow, right?
And
then
we
you
have
feel
husbands.
guilty. Yeah.
And my husband comes
they have
right
a daddy
down.
Yeah.
who lives with you?
Yeah.
How is he? How is he as a father to your children? How is he with the understanding about autism and acceptance?
He's good. At first, I think his understanding and acceptance was a little bit later than mine. But now he's really good with it. He's really good with him. My son is all about me all the time. He wants me. I'm his safe place.
I feel you.
And I what I struggle with their dad is, do you understand what it's like to be pulled around every minute of the day? It's hard. And he's like, well, he just wants this. And I'm like, yes, but I'm human too.
She now comes and sits on me when I'm on the toilet and passes me the toilet roll to like hurry up, and my wee's halfway out.
I love that she's giving you the toilet roll.
I know, right?
Really good.
I know. I called my sister yesterday, and I'm like, oh, my son at the minute, he likes threads. So no towels, flannels. He's going to get the threads out.
Okay.
I've had a flannel on my bath for 3 days that he hasn't. And I'm like, this is such an achievement. This is great. My sister's like, this is
Honestly,
just not
all
normal.
the small wins.
Yeah.
So talk to us about schooling. So where does Theo go to school? You don't need to obviously tell us where. What sort of school does Theo go to?
So he goes to a specialist school.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. It's the one that I wanted.
Oh, fantastic.
I walked in there the first time and I knew it was I knew it was a school, and I said, I'm not going to stop fighting until I get this school. So before Theo went to that school, my sister runs a nursery.
Okay.
Oh, that's handy.
So Theo was at nursery with my sister.
Fantastic.
Which was great. It was like,
so you're free 1-to-1.
literally, if it, like when
and
school
also
calls,
comforting
it's like,
for him for knowing someone as well.
Yeah, and if the school calls now, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, the school's calling. But when my sister would call, I'm like, she knows what to do.
She'll deal with it. I don't
Yeah,
need to
like
ask
she
stuff.
knows what to do. So yeah, he went to nursery there, and she obviously is gonna fight for him at the utmost. That's her nephew. So, but we didn't tell the local authority that was my sister, because she's married, so we've got 2 different surnames.
Yeah.
And I thought they might think we're being a bit biased here.
See that.
So we just never ever told them that she was actually my sister.
Fair play.
Mind you, we're literally like twins. So it was like, I don't
funny,
ever
you look
want
so
them to
alike.
see me, because if they see her, like when they'd go round and do like their checks and stuff. So yeah, I was always hiding from them. But that was absolutely great. And then I remember when it was time for him, when we got the school, at first, we went through the HCP. They said that my son can be in a mainstream school. I went through all of that. That was absolutely ridiculous. And I was like, absolutely not. He's not going in a mainstream school. I don't know what you need to do. Because at first, generally, when they called me and told me that, I said, I think you've got I was generally thought they had the paperwork mixed up.
You've got the wrong child.
Yeah, you've got the wrong child. It's impossible. But yeah, we got through all of that. And then I remember before he was going to school, I sat there, I said, he's not going. He's not going.
So at this point, he was going to mainstream?
Yeah, it was his first day, and I just thought, because I've had that comfort of my sister.
Yeah.
Now, he can't come and tell me if something's wrong or someone's been horrible to him. And all of these feelings, I think where I had stopped fighting, I started feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, no, I don't want him to go. I don't want him to be with strangers. I don't know. What if he doesn't like it? Exactly. But then I spoke to my mum, I spoke to my sister, and I spoke to their dad, and they was like, you have to somewhat let go a little bit. So I was like, okay, Monday the transport comes. Obviously, I'm following behind.
Of course.
And I had to do that for like a week. But this is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand how much responsibility I'm giving to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know my son, and he is a bull in a china shop. He's so accident prone. And I struggle sometimes. And that's what I remember saying to the teacher. So what happens when you're having a bad day? Because we all have bad days.
Sure.
And
Not
I'm
robots.
not silly not to know that. And she said, well, we have like extra staff in the reception and we just tap in and tap out. Because, yeah, sometimes we do need a break. There's only 6 children in the classroom. But 6 children with high needs is like 10. Maybe
Wait,
20.
hold on. Sorry, I got confused. So when the EHCP said he's okay for mainstream, you fought for him to get into a specialist. This is day one of the specialist school.
Yeah, this is day one of
so
the
you
specialist
even
school.
had this guilt and all these emotions.
With a specialist
Okay,
school,
got you.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant you sent him into...
No, he never went to mainstream school. All of these feelings were still... It was just about... You know when you have a child, your child goes to nursery, you kind of like have that separation from them. My child was with my sister.
Yeah,
I never had
so
that.
This was day one.
Yeah, there was no stranger that ever had him.
Yeah.
I was so nervous. My sister's had him, which is like me. We're so close.
So in a way it was great, but then on another side it wasn't so great because you've had that safety net there and then all of a sudden you've had to say...
It's taken away.
Yeah.
And now he's going into reception.
Yeah.
So he's older.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is reception, day one. You're following them into back and forth from the transport.
Yeah.
And how was he that week?
He was absolutely fine.
This is the thing. We don't give our children enough credit.
He was
I
absolutely
think it's
fine.
more us because I sent Bailey to a like a camp sort of nursery last week when she was on half term. And I sobbed my heart out and I was doing her thinking for her. Mm-hmm. But she's probably not even thinking what I'm thinking. And actually, she had a great time.
She had the best week. I was with her day one. She burst out crying. I was like, hold those tears together. I said, this is the time. And I feel like we can all understand this now where we don't give them enough and we have to let them be independent themselves and figure things out for themselves. Otherwise, they're never, ever going to grow up. Yeah.
No,
she relies on me so much at home, but actually... When she was there, because I dropped her before Sophie and I messaged her every morning saying, can you
Where
check
are you?
on her?
Check on her.
And she actually saw her doing stuff independently.
She was on her own doing her things. The teachers around her were looking and they were monitoring her. But she just had this smile on her face. And that was the first time I'd seen that too. And I was like, you've got... And it was nice for me to see it. And I guess it was the same for you with your sister.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't inside her every minute of the day. I'm sure he had these times.
No, he's a complete different child.
Yeah.
It's a complete different child.
Is he a different child for you than he is for other people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
I think
find
so.
that.
I think he is. Don't get me wrong, he is him.
Yeah, of course.
But like things like when he's at nursery or when he's at school, he'll sit at a table and eat. He's not doing that at home.
Yeah.
He's not doing that at home. And
do you think that's because we're safety? We're like, they don't have to not mask as much, but they don't have those expectations on them at home or...
Yeah, and I just think it's like they're just more relaxed. They're just at home. And
they think also, fuck it, mum's going to do it for me.
Do I have the time to actually sit with him at the table like what they do at nursery and school? I don't, because I'm cooking dinner or I'm washing up or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. So could he... I don't know. I'm going to try it from September. I've said I'm trying it from September because I'm sick of food being absolutely everywhere. So that's my goal.
I'm sick of hoovering.
Yeah, I'm sick of everything.
So is he still in reception or is he in year one?
He's in reception. He goes up to year one in September.
Okay. And so there's 6 kids in his whole year, which is amazing in his class. Do you feel like he's ready for year one? Like, is it in a specialist school? Is it the same sort of environment, or do they have to
changing that much?
Okay, so again, I think he might be ready, but I'm not ready. So he can stay in that classroom, I think, for 2 to 3 years. So what they do is they only move them up when they're actually sitting down. When they're able to actually sit down at their desk, then they'll move them up. I really like his teacher. And I've got like a bond now.
I know.
And I'm like, I trust her now.
Yeah, and it's having to start again and trust another teacher. And
maybe I've got attachment issues.
That's okay to accept.
But I don't have no worries with
that's what I'm saying.
teacher.
It's more us than them.
Yeah, 100%. I know it's
stuff.
me. I know it's me. There's loads of things that I sit down and think, it's not him, it's you. It's the worry. It's just everything. And I feel like there's no one that knows him better than me. But then I think, but are you wrapping him up too much where you're kind of stopping him from exploring? Hope I'm not.
And being his own.
I'm sure you're not.
Yeah, but you know what? You're protecting him.
No one has a manual. No one knows what to do. You've just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell us more about him. I want to know more about his character. What's he into? What does he like? What doesn't he like? So he likes threads.
He loves Hey Dougie.
He loves Hey Dougie. From he was born to now, Hey Dougie. It's never changed. Never, ever changed. I mean, I hate it.
I'm sure you know every single word of every single episode.
But you find yourself having it still on the telly and they're not even in the room.
Yes.
And you don't even...
Or in the car and you've sang the whole way and you're like, why am I singing to Coco Melon? I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Does he like songs? Nursery rhymes?
No. So he goes through phases. So at one point he did. And then I started singing and he just started crying. So I don't know if it's my...
Your voice. Your
Mum,
voice.
be quiet.
I don't know if it's my singing or what. But he loves water. He is a sensory seeker.
Okay.
He will seek sensory from everything and anything. But right now, it's threads. I've got no blinds now because he's literally one by one. I had like the slate blinds.
It's fascinating what they can get into and what their special interests are. Threads, like where did that even start?
Before that was baby wipes.
Oh, we've had them, chewing them.
Yeah. Now it's
water
threads.
Of it.
Yeah.
Is he biting?
Do you know what? So he goes through little stages. So he's
I don't
never
mean people.
Oh,
I mean like my daughter.
I thought you were talking about people.
No, like biting, like clothing.
Oh yeah. So like his bed sheets, he'll bite them until he gets the threads out. Anything where he can get a thread out, he will do it, and it's causing a lot of problems. He's currently with the gastro team because he's got esophagitis. So where he's ingesting all of these threads.
So he's eating them.
Oh yeah, he's eating them. He will eat everything and anything.
Even food?
Oh yeah, he loves. Yeah.
Oh good, so he's an eater.
He's not a picky eater. He will eat everything.
That's amazing.
The occupational therapist come the other day and he said, "Does he eat like this all the time?" And I said, "Yeah. There's never a minute where there's not food in his hand." And he said, "Well, how is he so slim?" I said, "Because he doesn't stop moving."
Is he potty trained?
No, and I don't think he's ready for potty training as of yet.
And I think the school also guide you with that when they know as well. Yeah.
It's like the school sent a letter saying like what to look out for, and it's like your child stripping, and I'm like, no, I think he strips just because he wants to be naked. Yeah. I don't think he's stripping because he wants to go to the toilet.
Yeah, she pulls her nappy down and she's walking around with like a builder's bum out.
Yeah. But that's not a sign, is it?
No.
That's comfort, probably.
It would be a sign if she then did a poo.
Yeah.
But no, she's not.
I'm dreading potty training.
I'm just hoping she'll get there, that she does.
They will get there. I mean, again, every child's different. I get that. But I was also dreading it. And this was the time where Callie wasn't verbal. And she did it because she didn't just have an interest in Hey Dougie, fortunately. She loved TV in general, so I used to put everything on that was like toilet training related.
Yeah.
And again, lots of people say it was way easier, even for me, than I thought it ever was going to be. I find it more harder with Marley, who isn't globally delayed than Callie. But
he's just
anyway,
stubborn.
Love him, but yeah.
That's the problem. I think with me is my son's understanding in general. So like if he walks in the kitchen, there'll be like a cup on the side that will have a drink in it. He'll just pull it off. The glass will smash. He won't care. Yeah. He'll then just start playing in it. And it's like, do you not understand that is going to hurt you?
Yeah.
Exactly. And even if it does hurt him, he carries on. Mm-hmm. It's like he does not feel pain.
They don't.
They don't.
Can we talk about like a 111 call?
Go for it.
Like you call 111 and you say, and they'll say, so how's your child? He's nonverbal. Okay. So you're asking me all these questions that I don't have the answer to.
Does he say that his tongue hurts? Well, I don't know.
I don't have the answer to your question.
Yeah.
I don't find that just with 111. I find that with the forms we have to fill out for like EHCPs, DLAs. So how does your daughter deal with? Well, I don't know how she does because she can't tell me.
Exactly.
And it's the same question after same question after same question.
This is what upsets me, and I know that the world is becoming more and more accepting and there's more knowledge and more education, but actually there isn't. There's still, no one knows anything. Why would we fill out a form about
every case
in
is
their
different.
first
Every
place.
child is different, yet the forms are the same.
They're the same.
How does that work?
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It does not make sense. And I just feel like it's hard enough as it is. Like my son will be so ill, but still run around.
Yeah.
Like
my kids will have 40-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
And they're buzzing.
And you take him to the hospital, they're like, oh, they're fine. No,
Yeah.
he's not. I know him. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong. You
Yeah.
need to check for that. Like
Yeah.
the last time we went to hospital, what was wrong with him? 'Cause we go quite often.
They're like, me again.
But this time, I think they said he's got tonsillitis. And I was like, look, he's naturally got big tonsils. He's had antibiotics for a week now. That was it. He had antibiotics for a week. Nothing's improved. I don't think it's tonsillitis.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll check again. So he's checked his tonsils. Well, they are inflamed. Yeah. Okay, can you do some other tests, please? Because if he was telling you, if he could speak and said, my tummy's hurting, you would then come away from the tonsillitis.
Right.
I don't think it's tonsillitis. He's been on antibiotics for a week. He's still unwell. He's still got a temperature. So can we check something else? He said, no, it's antibiotics. I'm going to give you Diflam spray. So I'm going to say to my non-verbal son, open your mouth, let me spray this.
Forget it.
Come on.
Forget
I
it.
love the it's viral.
Yeah.
Just
So I took
roll
him
with
to
it.
another hospital and he had flu type A.
Bless
Wow.
him.
So
That's what I had in January and I was so ill.
It was never tonsillitis.
No.
So them antibiotics was a waste of time.
Of course.
And it's just like, if
And
you
you've
just
had
took...
to endure an extra week of an unhappy child.
Exactly.
So communication and speech-wise, you said he's non-verbal. Does
Yeah.
that mean nothing? Does he make
Nothing.
sounds?
He stims he's a big stimmer, but he's never, ever like attempted to talk. He's hand over hand all the way.
Not tried the devices or anything yet? You don't think he's ready for anything like that?
So the school are saying that they're trying different communication networks with him, and whichever one he kind of
Veers
towards is, because they said we don't want to start him and keep stopping him and changing. So it seems now that he's veering more towards the photo cards.
Pet cards. Okay.
So
That's good.
we're going to start that. Well, I'm waiting for them to tell me definitely that is going to be the tool of communication, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
But I often get scared, I'll be honest, because I think if I give him...
No. I know what you're going to say. Because I feel the same. If you give him those pet cards or you give him that device, then he won't talk. No. If anything, it will, believe, it will promote it and it will encourage him to talk more.
We had the parents with Makaton on. They taught their kid how to do Makaton. That was the question we asked. We're like, well, if you're doing this, how is he never going to use his words? He uses his words more now.
Really?
Because he's
if the communication comes, then I feel that the words might come.
Yeah. I feel like my son, he does communicate, like in the morning, he'll come with his cup, he wants juice, even with the breakfast bowl.
If you said to him, go and get your bowl from the kitchen, would he understand that?
No. It's all on his terms, all when he wants to do it and if he wants to do it.
If God forbid we don't do it,
then it's a big problem. Like
it's
cooking.
a guessing game all the time.
I can't cook when he's at home. Oh my God, he will stand at that gate and cry because he doesn't understand the food is cooking.
Yeah.
It's not magic. I can't give it to you right now, but because he can smell it, he wants it.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that. Before he finishes school, I've got to make sure dinner's ready. It's just
so much pressure all the time, isn't there?
And preparation with no sleep. Like the sleeping has got to stop.
So tell us more about the sleep. I know you said he doesn't sleep, but like, what is his pattern?
I think he slept. When did he sleep? Probably slept about 6 months, when he was 6 months old.
Up until 6 months old.
Yeah, and then I remember I was giving him like 8-ounce bottles 4 times a night. Because I just
would he go back to sleep straight away?
Yeah, when he was a baby, and I just thought he's just a really hungry baby. Yeah. That's why he's waking up like this.
So what's his patterns like now? Does he have a pattern of how he sleeps or doesn't?
Every day's different. Last night was 3:45. And he went back to sleep about 4:45 with melatonin.
So I
never found the melatonin working in the middle of the night.
Did you try it though? The other way round?
No. I used to give it to her at like 5, 6, whatever it was. And then if she used to wake up at 3 in the morning and I gave it to her then, it did nothing.
No, so I don't give it at bedtime. Okay. So at 7, he goes to bed, 7:30, 7. I give it to him when he wakes up. So he never has it that first time. The first time he will have it would be whatever time he wakes up in the morning. And that is the only thing that's worked for me.
So when he goes to bed at 7:30, are you saying bedtime and you shut the door and he settles himself to sleep? Do you have to be with him?
No, he'll go. So he headbangs. Yeah. Still now. That's just
smart. My Marley does as well.
Really?
Yeah, he has forever.
Always.
It's like, I find it really torturing.
Yeah,
like,
I hate it.
It's so awful to see. On his tummy and just bang,
same.
Bang.
And my
he did
son
it on my lip.
Does it like he's crossing his legs and that's how he sleeps, forward, like that. I don't know how anybody can sleep like that. He's so like double jointed. It's crazy.
Oh wow! So he has his legs crossed and then he's folding his body in half.
Yeah, folds his body, and that's how he goes to sleep. But that's his position.
Yeah. How long does it take him to fall asleep?
Every day's different. Every day's different. If he's had like today, he goes swimming at school, so he'll be knackered when he gets home. So today on a Wednesday is normally a good day. He'll go to sleep in like 20 minutes.
Is he in a bed or a cot?
He's in like a safety bed.
Fine. So he can get out?
He can't get out unless I get him out. Okay. Well, actually, he can get out. He knows how to get out himself. Yeah. But he doesn't. Yeah. He generally loves it. Like if I don't close it, he'll close it. It's like, go away. This is my space. He pushes me out of the bed and he loves that space.
Does he headbang during the day as well?
Sometimes during the day.
Like during anger time, like when he's upset or dysregulated or just for fun?
When he's dysregulated or sometimes just for fun. Yeah. And if there is any like fluffy blankets around, so like if I've got the throw on the sofa, he'll take that, he'll start headbanging. It's like This
is my child.
Really?
He's undiagnosed, I just know though. But Josh and my husband was like, he's 100% not autistic. And I was like, okay.
It's crazy.
It's funny because you can have two children.
Soft, fluffy, fleecy material.
Yeah.
You can have two children with two autistic diagnoses, but totally different.
Totally different.
Symptoms. So, and the headbanging, he's like, I've gone upstairs and he's literally bleeding. His nose is bleeding. His teeth is bruised. He's still going.
Yeah.
He will not stop. And I used to find it really, really hard because how can you just sit back and watch your child do this? And I've asked for helmets. I've asked for an MRI. I'm like, surely there's some damage.
It worries you about the head. Like, Marley did it against the wall, our brick wall.
Oh my God.
He thought he was doing it on the pillow and he just threw himself back. And again, you know, we said they don't feel pain. He felt pain.
Really?
Like this was a solid, massive bang on the wall. So I slept with him all night in case he had a concussion. The worry every day.
Even my son will stand up against the sofa and lean back, all the way back and forward. And like he's a rocker as well.
Yeah.
Like he never sits still, always rocking, always looking for that input.
Yeah.
But I really hope the headbanging stops because it's
horrible, horrible. It looks like you're watching a scary movie.
Yeah, I've even had neighbour wars about it.
Really?
Yeah, my neighbour's like, stop banging on my walls. And I'm like, it's not me.
So difficult. Well, on that note, it's been so amazing speaking with you. I feel like you've really opened up for parents to understand and relate to being more about being a mum raising a SEN child rather than it all being about the SEN child.
Yeah.
And I think that's really insightful. So we will keep out for your next event. We will definitely be there and you'll come to our next event. And it's just about building the community, keep it going, sharing awareness and advocating for our children.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You've been amazing. Thank you.